All right, all right, all right. Here we go. $6 find right here. I didn't even know this book existed. Found this at a, I don't even know what to call it. We got these stores out here. They're kind of like secondhand bookstores. It's not Goodwill. But yeah, anyways, thanks to whoever decided to give this up out of their collection. Hope it didn't hurt too much. But I stole this thing. Yeah, $6. He was like, what, less than $8 out the door. Anyways, hardcover edition of Alex Ross, Busiek and Ross. Art for Inspiration. We're here for Alex Ross, all right? This collects issue 0 all the way through issue 4. If you all remember, if you collected these all had those acetate covers with the Marvel's logo. You'd flip it and then you'd see the full painted image. This run of books here, me, my friends, blew our minds. When this thing came out, this thing was a game changer for comics as a business, in my opinion. The insanity of how good this work is still holds up. There is a lot of painted work from 80s and 90s, and even currently it isn't gonna last the test of time. This is timeless. It's not very often you get to see something like this come out. But anyways, yeah, so let's check this out. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of short. I got some errands I gotta run, so yeah, here we go. Take a peek. Starts off obviously with the 0 book. The 0 issue I think came out kind of like after the fact, if I remember. Yeah, and also something funny is I used to actually collect these highly articulated Spider-Man figures. It was basically because I really liked the sculpts on the Rogue Gallery characters. They looked super cool, and they were like 7-inch figures with they were kind of going towards the McFarlane route as far as detail and mobility. One of them was blister packed with these comics behind it, and this book here, it had this cover, right? So this is the issue 0 cover, but when you flip through it, the interiors are actually the original printed pages of the Death of Gwen Stacy issue. So it's interesting. But on the Marvel 0 book, these are the actual interiors you get here to that cover. And that cover, at least the copy I got, did not have an acetate. You can let me know in the comments if there's one that does exist of it. But yeah, I just remember it was like a regular book throughout. The edition that I have, at least, does not have an acetate cover. It's just the full book, So yeah, and this book here, or this run of books, essentially they revisit the origins of like all of the core flagship characters of Marvel Comics: Iron Man, Avengers, Fantastic Four. This stuff this is like sickening. It's so good that it like, this is the kind of work when you hear artists say it makes them not want to draw. This is that volume. So apologies, any artists that actually find this video. I might have uninspired you. All right. Damn. Yeah. And through these books too, there's a lot of I'm not going to point them out. There's too many Easter eggs and a lot of nods to original editions and concept art from back in the day. And another cool thing about this too was, as a relatively a younger reader, still in your teens if you're buying this, or in your 20s and you're still living the belief, still trying to live large and get into comics or whatnot. Man, this was also a good way to kind of usher in the stories of books that we could never afford, from way back, or they're just entirely too fragile if you did own it. You weren't popping open amazing fantasy book to read it. Yep. So if I remember, I think it has to do. I think the actual story in here, it's almost like a. I don't want to say a reverse Lois Lane. It's a reporter, and sort of like his vantage point of what some of the outcome is of some of these characters existing in reality. At least in this reality, which is drawn almost like reality. All right. So cool. Yeah, this so a lot of these battles and stuff actually happen in comics, uh, printed back in the day, but it's just showing you more of the vantage point of the normies. Yeah, this stuff's awesome. Yeah, a little bit of mixed media. I think most of it, I would almost say, is like a watercolor, or at least a watercolor application of maybe acrylic, some color pencil, but mostly paint. I would say mostly paint. There's a lot of fine line detail that goes on in here. I just don't imagine that's all brush, but it could be. Alex Ross is a magician with the brush. I do know he has a channel that once in a while you get to see some live art stuff, and watching him work, it's sometimes I'll put on other artists drawing. I'll find some older, like some old Portacio, or some of those reposted Jim Lee videos and stuff, just to have something going. And it kind of breaks the staleness of, I'm sitting in this 20 by 20 office. And when I put on the Alex Ross ones, it's dangerous, because what happens is I end up just watching the video, and then no work gets done, right? So I actually try to avoid it. But if you're interested in watching him work and you don't have something you absolutely have to get done, then I highly recommend watching it. If you need something for background while you work, don't even think about it. You'll be mesmerized by his process, and you're not finishing shit. It's like old school. You won't find it easy, Firebug. Yeah, this stuff's awesome. Oh, and you'll see a change in him too right here. It's because of this fight. Human Torch blasted through this wall. One of the bricks hits him in the face, and then you end up seeing he loses an eye over it, actually, this reporter. So, like, through the rest of the book, he has an eye patch. You can see. Yeah, and she didn't even care. Look at that. What a stand-up gal. She still married him. Hashtag blessed. This is a really cool shot. This always kind of Captain America's like, I'll hold the shield. Bucky, you blast him. Yeah, stuff's great. Yeah, oh yeah, the X-Men. This is such a badass drawing right here. So cool. Painting, I should say. Yeah, and obviously, if you know much about Alex Ross, he uses a lot of photo reference, a lot of I don't want to say collage, but he'll use multiple reference materials for lighting and stuff like that. Probably had a model in the studio for this shot. Took a photo, based it on. But I think he uses those kind of the same purpose, like Frazetta used to back in the day, where he would get some cool photos, and really it's to see the representation and gradation of light against the form, like the inside light of this leg. Any normie, any comic artist like myself, you know, we would have focused on the contour, maybe put some drop shadow underneath the muscles, and that'd be it. But he's coming in here and showing you that there's actually these almost flat edges that occur on the figure covered in this material. You get to see it here with the metal, you know, with the cape. Light affecting different things, you know, folds, creases, crevices, and the material. You know, they all have, like, it's property and volume plus color, and you get different values through that. So this is freaking badass too. This whole shot right here. This could be a cover right there. Bam. It's okay. You can cut Iceman out of that. There you go. I always thought this looked like freaking what's his name? I wonder if he's a fan. Singer of Bad Religion. Greg Graffin. What's his name? Singer of Bad Religion. I always thought that it looked very similar to him. I don't think it's Brett Gearwood. I think it's I think it's Graffin. I think Gearwood's his guitar. I don't know. All right, let's keep going here. Thick book. There you are. Got the Sue and Reed. And I like it. I like that this book too. It feels like a era. It feels era appropriate. You know, Tony Stark and all these characters. It feels very. And you got the X-Men right here. Show. Man, this right. So seeing this stuff here, it makes me wonder what kind of books we would have gotten out of someone like Norman Rockwell, had Norman decided that comic books was like a viable form of art or advertising. You know, Rockwell didn't consider himself an artist. He considered himself a graphic designer, actually, which is kind of interesting. I think because he was working commercially and not for fun, I don't think he really saw it as art. All right, let's flip through some of this. Obviously iconic. All these characters painted to perfection, as only Alex Ross could do. Let's see. We got some big bads coming up here, I think. There you are. Got some Sentinels. And such a good job on these too, because you know this stuff doesn't exist, right? Like this is not something that really photo reference like a human figure would exist, right? Seamless. Looks like it belongs. I think this is actually my favorite cover. Well, this, I don't know, maybe the Angel cover, but this is definitely one of the top two for these Alex Ross covers of this series. People like shiny stuff. I like shiny stuff. Alright. Silver Surfer is shiny. There he is. This is a page I wouldn't say no to owning the original. Galactus is pretty sick too. I like that he kind of went with the old school kaleidoscope refractor right in here. Save us! This is such a cool shot right here too. I like got this invisible deleter that kind of comes right through the center to kind of show that this is just absolutely bonkers, like the energy emitting from it. And this one too, this was always super cool. That he sort of defies gravity. He's just sort of there. He's like just enough where he's like hovering right above the surface. It's like a game of Twister that went terribly wrong. Alright, I'm going to skip some pages here. Let's get to the back of this. Anyways, you get the gist. These books are insanely good. They were ridiculously good back in the day. They hold up. And this is one of those series too. Every time I go through it, I notice things that I overlooked because I think this takes a while to consume. It's not something I feel like you can really get the whole gist of it in one sit through. So maybe like a couple of days, you know, get a palate cleanser, you know, and then come back to it, and then you'll start finding new stuff and having different appreciations for different aspects of this series here. But yeah, so that's the end there. Let's see, this was a Marvel, this was a poster they used to sell in shops. This poster was huge too, by the way. Yeah, I don't think it was a 3-piece, but I do recall it being like too large to justify getting for my old office back in the day. So we got some oh, here we go. So these are trade, I was like, I don't recognize this. Trade paperback wraparound cover, trade paperback second printing. You get to see some of his pencils here. So you get a pretty nice amount of sketch and practice. Look at how, this is so sick. Yeah, so a lot of sketch material. I think these were actually in that Zero, the Marvel Zero, whatever it was called. Yeah, and then I think it also had some like early work that he was actually pitching, trying to get work on Marvel books. Obviously, he upgraded a lot between that point and when he actually got paying work. But this is cool to see. It's cool to see this sketch, but man, the execution on that cover so much, you know, greater than this. Is this unused? I don't know. I feel like this is unused. Here's some different variations on the Spider-Man eye. This was the cover they went with. This would have been interesting. Right here, you get just the pumpkin. And then let's see. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. This was also a poster. I'm not going to be critical. This face is weird to me. It's never sat right with me. But this stuff's like crazy good. There's something about this specifically, this whole thing, if you get rid of this, is flawless. There's just something about that Doctor Strange face that's always not really sat right with me. This is an awesome thing here too. I think this was also, I think these were posters. Yep, that's right, Dynamic Forces. Okay. Get some cover homages back here. There's some other gallery stuff. These are homage covers. You got obviously the Kirby, Alex Ross with long hair. That's all gone now. We all get older. Yeah. So here we go. So you get to see some of what he had for reference. Fun. When these were getting worked on, Adobe Photoshop was not readily available for most people. Very few people actually utilizing it. I don't think he was. I think he was using photographs and then maybe some darkroom manipulations of negatives to get desired prints to work from, you know, like the reverse negative stuff and things like that. For the Human Torch character or any other character really that glows, you know. But this is cool. See, this is what I'm talking about here. He's not drawing this here. He's using it for the form. Like, obviously, Gwen Stacy has a very, very different anatomy. But some stuff he kind of stayed true. The eyes a little bit, the nostrils, the mouth placement a bit. He made it a bit wider of a smile though. Nothing wrong with that. But anyways, yeah, cheap find. Oh, that's cool. Super cheap find. I know nothing of this. I don't even know where you can find it. I found it by just wandering off and looking at comic stuff. So it looks like it's the Marvel Premiere Classic Volume 13. This is a run of books, several different books. The long shot one I got, I think, is volume. I can't reach it. It's right there. Anyways, they're all color coded. Some are blue, some are teal. This one's obviously red. But yeah, if you can track this down, you get the whole collection of the original series plus that Zero issue, which I think, again, for whatever reason, I think it came out after the mini. I might be wrong. I might have just bought it late. I don't know. Anyways, if you're interested in it, look for it. Let's see, what's the retail on this thing? $24.99. Okay. Oh, this is a limited printed book. There's only 1,790 copies of this. Okay. Anyways, Marvel's getting smart. They're doing some reprints. So if you can find this, if not, hardcover is a nice addition to have, though. All right, everyone. Thank you.